Margareta shows us the complete Masi printing process in the Namuka style. She is an expert in the art of Masi Kesa, which is the printing and decorating of Masi cloth. The central principle of Masi Kesa is to work from the outside in. This approach allows maximum flexibility of choice in the final stages of the design. She needs to keep the inking pad, called a tata, at exactly the right level of moistness. Margareta has almost finished the edging of the piece. She will use another stencil to place very small vertical lines which join the horizontal lines, using far less pressure. The shape of the stencils is determined by tradition. The design motifs are called drow, and each motif has a specific meaning. Now the comb pattern goes on, making a more complex stencil inside the previous straight lines of the edges. So far, she has produced a pleasing design simply by using only one colour, black. She has finished the borders of the design. Kotu takes a piece of Masi and shreds it into narrow strips. The strips are joined by hand pressure into a ball. Even preparation of the tata takes considerable time and is done in the traditional way. It's first dipped into a bowl of the kesa juice we saw prepared by her brother. The fluid is much too runny for stenciling. It would flow outside the stencil area unless it was made more viscous. That's done by dabbing the tata in a mixture of soot and umiya and squeezing the tata. The consistency has to be correct. Now Kotu can push the die and reproduce the stencil pattern exactly.
I've complete all this, the borderline of my Masi. Now I'll fold the Masi into half so that I can see the middle of my portion of my Masi piece. We'll put this on the center point that we already created.
Margareta uses a heavy pressure with strong hands to push the die through the stencil. She works rhythmically and accurately.
We've completed the piece of tapa with designing in black. Now I'm working with my daughter Vitavini because I don't have to wash my hands again and do the red dye.
The brown dye is a mixture of umiya and the mangrove juice. Vedathini has been already working with the brown dye, so it's more convenient for her to complete the piece. She fills in the area between the two black lines by utilizing a stencil the same width as the gap. She does the same with the flower stencil for each division of the center. The straight edge of a stencil is used like a mask to stop the brown dye spreading.
I use this piece of stencil as a masking for my red dye.
A mistake at this stage would have ruined the Masi piece. Vedathini lifts the final stencil very carefully. This is the final part of the whole stenciling process. The dye is still wet, yet there has been no smudging or bleed of dyes. The color coverage is good.